When it comes to being a hero, not everyone can put on a cape and save the world. That's only for the movies. Still, you don't always need superpowers to save a life. Sometimes all you need is a caring heart and a little bit of determination to make the world a better place. When two friends were on their way home from a holiday weekend in Bulgaria, they spotted a sick dog on the side of the road. Eager to help, they pulled over to see what they could, but they soon found out that there was much more to the story.
Before we begin, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
When Bulgaria natives, Marty and Setso, were driving home from a holiday weekend, they spotted something on the side of the road that made both their hearts break. The men knew they had no choice but to stop and offer help. She was hardly recognizable, but the creature on the side of the road was an abandoned female husky. Who could have been so heartless to leave her out in the cold? The two stopped their car, but they weren't prepared for what they were about to find. The emaciated Siberian husky had been hiding a puppy alongside her the entire time. Both dogs showed signs of skin inflammation, and their fur had either fallen out or lost its color. Marty and Setso knew that without immediate medical care, both would die. The pair was happy. They found the dogs alive, but they couldn't believe the atrocious condition they were in. These animals clearly had been neglected by their previous owners for some time. The men needed to be extremely cautious. They had no idea if the dogs were carrying diseases, and they could have gotten very sick if they weren't careful. However, it was a risk they were willing to take, so they placed the dogs in their car and headed home. Luckily, both dogs remained calm during the car ride, which was likely due to the fact that they were too weak to resist. After both huskies were situated in the back seat, they snuggled up to each other for the entirety of the trip. Marty and Setso knew of a local veterinarian in town, and they brought the dogs there in a large cage they owned. They hoped that doctors would be able to give the poor animals the help they needed. Was there a chance they could be saved? As soon as Marty and Setso walked into the office, the doctors stared in shock. They could barely recognize the animals as huskies. It was one of the worst cases of neglect they had ever seen. Both dogs were extremely malnourished, and it looked like it had been weeks since either of them had a proper meal. They were so thin that their skin was actually sagging off their bones. They needed help quickly. Though the dogs were in good hands, it would take a long time before either of the huskies made a full recovery. Even then, there was no guarantee they'd survive their condition. The veterinarians would have to hope for the best. The veterinarians immediately started feeding the huskies a rich diet to help them become strong and healthy again. They hadn't had proper nutrition in weeks, and they lacked critical vitamins and minerals to help them sustain the little energy they had left. One of the first things the vets noticed was how friendly both of the huskies were. They didn't seem to have a fear of humans at all, which made the process a lot easier. Many of the animals they treated were terrified when they arrived, but not these two. No one knew where the huskies came from or how they ended up on the side of the road. They assumed they were most likely abandoned by careless owners. It was something that happened all too often to animals. Slowly but surely, the huskies started to grow stronger. They gradually gained muscle mass, and they were able to move around without the assistance of doctors. They finally started to resemble the beautiful breed they were. After only a few weeks of a special diet and modified exercise routines, this was what the mother husky looked like. The transformation was absolutely incredible, and it was clear to see her vibrant, playful personality had been waiting to emerge all along. Here's what her pup looked like after a few weeks too. The vets couldn't believe how well the huskies had recovered. When the dogs first arrived, doctors weren't sure if they'd ever pull through, but they did. Veterinarians named the mother and daughter Siberia and Alaska respectively, and they quickly found them a home with caring and nurturing dog lovers. These two huskies would never be left alone in the cold again, now that the two dogs were finally in the hands of owners who truly admired their beauty and cared for their well-being. Both dogs started showing off their unique personalities, true to their breed. They were very vocal about it too, Just look at the beautiful multicolored eyes on Mama Husky Siberia. Her new owners fell in love with her immediately after they saw her unique appearance, and for good reason. Now that Siberia and Alaska were safe, they could finally enjoy a second chance at life. Thanks to Marty, Setso, and the caring veterinarians, 2 leads were saved, and 1 lucky couple now owns these amazing canines. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with your friends and family. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.